gave up today. But this group of young men, what they've done over the last 3 years has been amazing. I know we didn't win a state championship their sophomore year, but we go undefeated in the regular season, and they've done what every childhood dream kid of playing basketball has done. They've won a state championship, they've won a Hall of Fame championship, they've won 3 conference championships, and what these guys have done to our community and school and the recognition that they've brought to both, has really been outstanding.
Basically on Monday you said you didn't know what, you hadn't faced anything like Bowman. You had a lot of turnovers, but I thought you guys handled the press pretty well. Do you?
Yes, I thought, especially the first half, I thought we did, and there in the third quarter we found Colin in the corner, and some of those late turnovers, that's mental and physical fatigue. We went with 5 guys mainly tonight. Tom did come in to spot Ryan when he got scratched and played a little bit there in the first half, but when you're faced with that, you are going to turn the basketball over, and we talked about not having live turnovers, and unfortunately some of our turnovers tonight were live where they were able to score on the back end of it. But, for the most part, I was very pleased. What I was probably most pleased with was our rebounding. I thought we battled on the glass tonight and held them, again, for the most part, one and done. I thought that was the big difference in the game.
So talk about the start of the game. You guys got off to an 8-2 lead, and even though they cut into it at times, they got down to 4 once in the third quarter, but it seemed like that start kind of just gave you that little bit of cushion to be able to maintain.
I thought our kids executed real well early against that pressure. We got wide open looks and we knocked those shots down, and we were getting stops at the other end, but it is crucial to get a good start. One, we knew we could get shots in the corner. We get the ball in the middle of the floor, we got good guards, we got good bigs, we would get shots in the corner. It just comes out to, are you going to knock shots down? And we did. So give these guys credit for keeping their head early and executing well. And, we talked about, we can't simulate this in practice, but they knew what was coming at them. They watched film and they prepared themselves very, very well. And I thought our passing early was good.
Coach, you just went where I was going to go. Talk about how you prepared to face that pressure, because there isn't any way that you can duplicate that in practice.
There isn't, and we started Monday's practice off, I think, with 8 guys on the floor, and it was chaos, and we were turning it over, we were throwing it all over the gym, and the passing angles aren't there with 8 kids on the floor, but I just wanted these guys to be thrown into the fire as soon as they could, and then as the days progressed, we take a guy off the floor, and by the end of it, we were going against 5, where these guys were coming in on a positive note, knowing where the angles are, but I give our second group and our JV kids a lot of credit for this week, especially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They worked their tail ends off to prepare these guys. And you can probably ask these guys, those 3 days, probably as hard as we've gone after it and preparing for a game.
Ryan, how was that facing that pressure from your spot at point guard?
With the 8 guys defensively?
Yeah, and tonight.
Tonight, you don't see that pressure in high school very often, actually at all, only when you play Bowman. So, they're really good at what they do, and I thought Coach prepared us extremely well, especially with those 8, 9, felt like 10 guys on the floor on defense against us in practice, and, it speaks volumes to how we went out and executed what his game plan was. So that was the biggest key, I thought.
See, you guys don't mind playing this style. I think maybe a misconception when people think you want to slow it down, but you guys kind of like playing like this, don't you?
And I think that was one key that you for one, you can't slow it down against them. They're going to come out and get you. I thought they were sick of so in the second half, especially there in the third quarter where they were a little bit tired and weren't coming at us with those traps. But you're exactly right. We just wanted to execute with our passing to get open shots. We weren't going to pass open shots up. And you're right. I think how you beat pressure is you take pressure right back at it, and we did.
Coach, in the third quarter, there was a time when they had cut the lead down to 4. You guys going in and shot. Ball missing. Looked like they had corralled the rebound. Ball came loose around the free throw line. Kicked this kid over in the corner, and he came to 3. Kicked him back up there. And that seemed like that was that, again, where you guys just had a little bit of a push from there for kind of kept a little bit of separation.
Yeah, and those are plays, I think, when you look back that we've done all year, the last 2 or 3 years, where, just right there's a loose ball as opposed to forcing the shot. We knew Colin would be in the corner. because that's where he lives, in the corner, and knew he would be there open. And, you know, Con had a great, he had 6 or 7 threes a night, and we knew we had to have a game like that. We had to shoot the basketball well.
And Colin, talk about, I mean, I was asking myself, you know, Ball State for tennis, like, you know, with the game you had tonight, I mean, talk about that. Well, you were on fire.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I am going to Ball State to play tennis. It's awesome. It's hard knowing that I'm not going to be able to go to basketball ever again, but it's good to know that I came out this way.
Coach, did you think you'd be able to stay in the 2-3 all night? They shoot 4 of 20 from 3. If they had been better, do you think it would have adjusted anything?
And we would have. Coming into it, we were going to play both. And that's just kind of us. We're going to always play our man. If we need to throw the zone out, just tonight we stayed with it longer. And you know, we didn't think they were a great shooting basketball team. We got a couple guys that could knock shots down. But give their kids credit. Dillard still split our zone and was getting to the rim. And that was one of the biggest things. It wasn't like we were in foul trouble. It was just keeping them out of the paint. There in the first half, I think they knocked down 1 perimeter shot. The rest of them were getting to the rim. So that was one of the biggest reasons why we did. But we could stay in it as well because we were rebounding out of it.
Coach, Ray had said before the game that he wanted to put Greensburg through 32 minutes of hell. And it seemed like for the first 29 of it that you guys handled it really well. That last 3 minutes seemed like it lasted about 3 hours. Was the previous 29 maybe that wore you guys to a part? You know, how did you feel down near the end? Was it a little bit tougher there at the end than what it had been the rest of the game? How was their pressure as far as...
I'll answer, then I'll let these guys, who's actually going through the fire. You know, we talked a little bit before, we were going to attack their pressure. And I know that's what they want to do, is to attack us. I felt our guards, Sean's getting to the middle of the floor, that we would get high percentage shots. But facing that an entire game is a wearing effect, and I think we got caught a little bit looking up the scoreboard, protecting the lead. Put you on your heels, and it doesn't take anything when they're coming downhill at you. If you take one retreat dribble and pick it up, you're dead. So, but I'll let these guys answer that.
Yeah, we got a little tired. You know, we played 6 guys max there, and last 3 minutes felt like a very long time. And there were times where we look at the scoreboard and like, gosh, can this one be over? You know, they're fresh, just they don't stop coming, and we knew that. But you know, those last 3 minutes felt like a very long time. But I thought we handled it well. You know, we got separated a little bit, and they got some things going, and we came back together as a team and took care of business.
Coach, I want to go back to the fact that you stayed in the zone for a minute. And you never want to let a team score, obviously. But as long as you were ahead, did you stay in that zone as much just because it was at least going to take them time to do so, as opposed to letting the pace just get that much more frenetic? Yeah,
and you know, and even in our man, we were going to gap it up and get our toes on the 3-point line. But yes, if you're in a zone, you're hoping they're going to make 2-3 extra passes. That's killing clock, and you hope at the end of it they're forcing a contested jump shot. But again, we were letting guys get to the rim. But I thought it was also key that we weren't fouling them on the drives. So it was successful. And, you know, looking here, I hadn't even had a chance to look at the stats, but I'm looking at our stats. This is what we've done all year. We had 3 guys in double figures with Sean leading us. Bryant has 8 points and 11 assists. And that's what he's done all year. And it's exactly what our team has done all year. And I'm just so pleased with these guys to continue that through a state championship game when everything is on the table.
Sean,